Welcome back to the deep end. But today we are pivoting. We are looking at a machine that you use every single day.
Every single day.
In fact, if you are a native English speaker, you use this machine probably thousands of times a day without ever looking at the manual.
You probably don't even know there is a manual.
Not at all. And if you are learning English as a second language, this specific machine is likely the source of your absolute nightmares.
Oh, it really is. It's one of those things that native speakers just do by instinct, but when you actually try to map it out, it looks like a conspiracy.
It does.
Mm.
So today we are diving into a source titled The Grammar of Tomorrow, Navigating Will and Going To.
A great title.
And I have to admit, when I first saw this in our stack of research for the week, I kind of pushed it to the side.
Oh, yeah.
I thought, grammar? Really? We represent the deep dive? Are we really going to spend an hour dissecting two little ways to talk about the future?
I can see that. It sounds a little basic on the surface.
It does. But then I started reading the source material. I started looking at the psychological breakdown in this text, and I realized this isn't just about rules.
No.
This isn't about where to put a comma. This is about how human beings process the concept of time.
That is the key right there. You've hit it. It feels like a grammar lesson on the surface, but it's actually a window into the human brain.
Oh, so?
Well, it's about how we relate to the future. Do we see the future as a fact? Do we see it as a wish? Do we see it as a plan?
Or a threat, even.
Or a threat. Exactly. English, unlike some other languages, forces you to make a distinction every single time you open your mouth to speak about tomorrow.
And the stakes are surprisingly high, aren't they? The source argues that using the wrong one-swapping will for going to doesn't just make you sound clumsy or like a non-native speaker.
No, it's much deeper than that.
It fundamentally changes the truth of what you're saying. It can turn a heartfelt promise into a cold administrative task.
Or turn a scientific prediction into a wild, reckless guess. It changes the reliability of it.
Reliability.
But that's what we're really talking about today. Not just how to speak correctly, but how to signal your intent accurately. If you use the wrong future tense, you are signaling the wrong reality to the person listening.
Okay, so here is the mission for this dive. We are going to deconstruct the future tense. We're going to look at the two heavyweights in this arena, will and going to.
The main event.
We're going to see why they fight, where they overlap, and by the end of this, the source promises a specific memory framework, a mental model that will make the choice automatic.
No more guessing.
We're going to turn you into a linguistic sniper.
I love that image. And, we should probably mention for the linguistics nerds out there that there is a bit of a controversy we need to acknowledge right off the top.
Ooh, I love good controversy. Lay it on me.
Well, strictly speaking, many linguists argue that English doesn't have a future tense.
Wait, explain that. I can say, I will eat dinner. That's the future. I'm not eating it now. I didn't eat it yesterday. That feels like a tense to me.
Semantically, yes, you are absolutely talking about the future. But morphologically...
It's a big word. What's that?
Morphologically means how the words actually change their physics. We don't really have one. Think about a language like Spanish or French.
Okay.
In Spanish, if you want to say, I speak, it's hablo. If you want to say, I will speak, you change the word itself to hablaré. You change the ending.
Right. The verb itself transforms.
The verb transforms to hold the time is baked right into the word.
I see.
But in English, the verb never changes. Eat is always eat. Go is always go. We can't change the verb to make it future.
So what do we do?
So we have to hack the system. We have to add these helper words. They're called modal auxiliaries like will, or phrases like going to build a little time machine out of spare parts.
So we're basically gluing extra parts onto the present tense to force it to point forward.
Precisely. And because we're using these helper words, we aren't just marking time, we are marking mood.
Yeah.
We are marking attitude. And that is why this is so complex and so fascinating. Will isn't just a neutral time marker. It carries emotional baggage. Going to isn't just a time marker. It carries logistical baggage.
Okay, that frames this perfectly. We aren't just telling time. We're setting a mood. So let's meet the cast of characters.
Let's do it.
In the red corner, we have the classic, the one everyone learns first, the one that just feels the most future-y, will.
The small but mighty will, a very powerful little word.
Now, structurally, the source keeps this really clean. Lucky English for Beginners breaks it down to the absolute basics. The formula is just subject plus will plus the base verb.
Yep. Simple as that.
I will go. She will fly. The robot will destroy us. It's clean, It's efficient.
Structurally, yes. Very simple. But functionally, that's another story. The source identifies 4 distinct use cases for will.
And I think this is where people get tripped up because on the surface, these 4 use cases seem completely unrelated.
They almost seem contradictory, don't they?
They really do. So let's
Right.
walk through them one by one because I think once you see the thread connecting them, it just clicks.
Agreed.
Use case number 1 is the one that I think causes the most confusion for learners: spontaneous decisions.
This is crucial. This is all about the timeline of the spark.
The spark. I like that. Explain that for us.
Okay, so imagine the timeline of your life. You are walking down the street, or you are sitting in a room like we are now. You have no plan. You're just existing. Then, stimulus. Something happens. A phone rings, someone says something, you feel something, you react. The decision to act happens at the exact moment of speaking.
So the thought and the words come out at the same time.
Basically, yes. The source uses a classic example. Let's call it the thirsty friend scenario.
Okay, let's play this out to really hear the difference. I'm sitting here with you, we're recording. Suddenly I turn to you and I say, man, I am really thirsty.
Okay, I hear that. I process it. I see a need. And I decide right now, in this split second, to solve your problem. So I say, I will get you a glass of water.
I will get you a glass of water. Now let's pause the tape there. Why can't you say, I am going to get you a glass of water?
Grammatically, it's a perfectly fine English sentence.
You could say it, but think about what that implies. Think about the reality it creates. Going to usually implies a plan that existed before the conversation started.
Okay.
So if I say, I'm going to get you a glass of water, it sounds like I was already standing up, already walking toward the kitchen, and you just happened to say you were thirsty at the same time. Right. It makes it sound like a coincidence.
Yeah.
Oh, you're thirsty.
Yeah.
That's funny. Because I am currently on a mission to get water anyway. It has nothing to do with you.
Exactly. It completely disconnects my action from your request. It's cold.
Yeah.
Whereas will ties the action directly to the stimulant. You said you were thirsty, sparky way. I decided I will get it. It's the volunteer tense.
Volunteer tip.
It shows you're stepping up in real time. It's a response.
It's dynamic. It
Oh.
feels alive. That's what I'm gathering here. If you use going to for everything, you sound like a bureaucrat just reading a schedule.
Totally.
I am going to answer the phone.
Like-
I am going to open the door. No, the phone just rang. You're reacting. I'll get it.
I'll get it. I'll do it. I'll answer that. It's the language of immediate action.
Right.
And notice we almost always contract it in speech. We don't really say, I will get it. That sounds a bit stiff, a bit formal.
We say, I'll get it.
We say, I'll get it.
Right. The Lucky English source points that out specifically. Pronounce will naturally as eel when you speak fast. I'll help you.
Yeah.
It sounds sharp. It sounds like a reflex.
It is a verbal reflex. That's the spontaneous decision. You see a problem, you fire a solution. The solution is will.
Okay, so that's the spontaneous spark. I get that. But then we pivot to use case number 2, which feels emotionally totally different.
Yeah.
Promises and offers.
Yes. This is where will becomes the language of commitment, of the heart.
The examples from the source are powerful. Don't worry, I will help you. And the big one, I will always be there for you.
Yeah, think about the emotional weight of that second sentence. I will always be there for you. This isn't just a plan.
No.
It's not like saying, I'm going to the supermarket. This is a bond. It's a vow.
So why does will work better here than going to? Why is it the one we reach for in these heavy moments?
We have to look at the history of the word a little bit. The word will comes from Old English willen, which meant to desire or to wish or to want. It's directly related to the noun will, as in free will or willpower.
Okay, that makes so much sense now. So when I say I will, I'm not just predicting the future. I am asserting my will over the future.
Yes. You are exerting your power, your desire to make it happen.
It's an act of creation.
Precisely. So when you make a promise, you are using that valid. You are saying, no matter what happens, no matter the obstacles, I choose this. This is my will.
Let's try swapping it. Imagine you're at a wedding or in a deeply emotional moment with a partner, and you look them in the eyes and you say, I am going to always be there for you.
Oof.
Yeah, no, that's terrible. It lands with a thud.
It feels so flat. Why is it so bad?
I am going to say, this sounds like logistics. It sounds like I am going to do the laundry.
Yes.
It sounds like it's just on the checklist. Item 47, be there for partner. Item 48, pick up dry cleaning. It's devoid of passion.
Exactly. It lacks the heart. Will puts the speaker's agency, their soul, on the line. I will always love you means I am choosing with my willpower to make this true.
It creates a bond between the speaker and the listener.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, going to just sort of observes a trajectory that is already happening. It's passive.
So will is for the soul, and going to is for the calendar.
That is a fantastic heuristic. That's perfect. We're going to steal that for the summary later. Will is for the soul.
Okay, so we have spontaneous sparks, which is reaction, and we have solemn vows, which is commitment. Now, use case number 3. This is the tricky one where I think people get tripped up the most.
I agree.
Predictions without evidence.
Right. The source calls this future you can't see. Or, my favorite, the crystal ball.
The crystal ball. The examples are things like, I think it will rain tomorrow, or I'm sure she will pass the exam.
Now, notice the trigger words that are often attached to these sentences. I think, I hope, I'm sure, I...
Right.
Where do all those things exist?
They're in my head. They're internal states, feelings, opinions.
Exactly. They're inside your brain. You are looking inside your mind, not outside at the world. You don't have a weather satellite showing you the rain. You don't have the answer key to the exam.
So I'm just projecting my belief onto the timeline.
You are. It's a guess. A confident guess, maybe? But it's still a guess based on feeling or opinion, not on direct, visible proof.
So it's subjective reality.
Perfectly said. When you use will for a prediction, you are subtly admitting this is my opinion.
Like humans will one day live on Mars.
Yes. Do I have proof? No. But I believe it. It's my theory. It's a statement of faith in a way.
That distinction is so important. If I say, I think it will rain, I'm telling you about me and my thoughts. I'm not necessarily telling you about the sky.
Correct. You are sharing your internal model of the future. It's personal.
Okay. And finally, use case number 4. The source mentions this one briefly, but it's important. It feels like the opposite of a guess. Let's call it the God voice. Formal facts.
I like that. The sun will rise at 6:30 a.m. The conference will begin at 9:00.
This feels absolute. This feels like the opposite of an opinion. So why do we use will here if will is for subjective things? It feels contradictory.
It does, but think about why these things happen. Who decides when the sun rises?
Well, physics, the universe, gravity, not me.
Exactly. It's not a human plan. It's not a schedule we made and put in our calendar. It is a law of nature.
Okay.
When we talk about destiny or physics or highly formal schedules that are beyond our personal control, will gives it that sort of biblical authority.
It removes the human element of planning.
It does. It makes it sound inevitable, unchangeable.
It sounds very official, like the president will address the nation. That sounds heavier than the president is going to talk to us.
Much heavier. It adds gravitas. It elevates the event from a simple plan to a formal, scheduled reality.
So if I step back and look at the world of will, it's a bit of a paradox, isn't it? It's used for sudden, impulsive decisions on one hand.
And for eternal laws and deep, soul-bearing promises on the other.
How do we square that circle?
It seems like a paradox, but I think the common thread is that will originates from a place of pure agent. It's either the agency of the individual speaker.
Like the sudden decision, the promise, the opinion.
Right. Or it originates from the agency of the universe.
The laws of physics, destiny.
The key is that it is rarely about social coordination or everyday logistics. It's about the raw force of the future being declared.
That's a deep distinction. It's either my will or the universe's will. It's not our schedule.
Our schedule, that is the perfect transition to the challenger.
Let's do it. Let's bring in the blue corner, the modern contender, the one for the planners. Going to.
The heavyweight of them, all about logistics.
First, let's just look at the structure. It's a bit clunkier than will, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have to do more work to say it.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
You need that to be verb. Subject plus amesar plus going to plus the base.
I am going to eat. She is going to fly. We are going to deep dive.
Right. And strictly speaking, historically, this is much, much younger than will, right?
Oh, is it?
Much younger. It evolved from the physical act of walking. Hundreds of years ago, you would literally say, I'm going to the market in order to buy bread.
So you were physically in motion.
You were physically walking toward a place to do a thing. Eventually, people got lazy and dropped the location and just kept the intention, I am going to buy bread.
So you don't have to be walking anymore, but the feeling of movement remains.
Exactly. It implies movement toward a goal. It implies you are already on the path.
And that makes total sense.
Yeah.
It implies you're already in motion, that there's existing momentum.
Exactly. Which brings us perfectly to its use case number 1, planned actions.
The source calls these the calendar keepers. This is the one for the diary.
Yes. The examples are things like, I am going to visit my grandmother this weekend, or we're going to start a new project next month.
The key word here is plan, premeditation.
Right. Think about the timeline again. With Will, in the thirsty friend scenario, the decision happened now.
This spark.
The spark. With going to, the decision happened in the past.
So I decided on Tuesday that I would visit my grandma on Saturday. It's already in my head. So when I tell you about it on Friday, I say, I'm going to visit her.
You are reporting on a plan that is already in motion. You're giving me an update from your internal calendar.
Okay, now imagine if I use will here. Let's say it's Friday, and I tell you, I will visit my grandmother this weekend. What does that sound like to you?
It sounds like you just realized you've been a bad grandson.
It does. It sounds like a sudden burst of guilt or a new resolution.
Yeah. It sounds like maybe I just asked you, hey, when's the last time you saw your grandma? And you go, oh, God, you're right. I haven't seen her. I will visit her. It's a reaction.
But I'm going to visit her.
Yeah.
Implies you're a responsible adult who manages their schedule. It's calm. It's organized.
It bridges the past and the future. The decision was made yesterday. The action happens tomorrow. Going to connects that timeline.
Whereas will just jumps onto the timeline out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's plans. I get that. Now, use case number 2 for going to. This is the one that really clarifies the difference with will when we talk about predictions.
Yes. This is crucial.
Predictions with evidence.
The detective usage, or the scientist usage, you are looking at clues.
The source gives that great comparison. On one hand, you have, I think it will rain, which is just an opinion.
The crystal ball.
But on the other hand, you have this example. Look at those clouds. It is going to rain.
Look at those clouds. That phrase is a command to gather data.
Right.
You aren't asking for my opinion. You are pointing to physical reality. Dark, heavy cumulonimbus clouds. The pressure is dropping. The wind is picking up.
So the rain is effectively already happening. Gravity just hasn't finished the job yet.
That's a great way to put it. When you have evidence, going to isn't a guess. It's a calculation. It's an extrapolation.
The result is already baked into the present moment.
It is. The trajectory is set. It's pretty much inevitable.
The source gives another example that makes this really clear. He's going to fall if he keeps running like that.
Right. You see a guy running on an icy sidewalk. His shoelaces are untied. Yeah. He's wobbling. You aren't guessing. You are just fast-forwarding the physics.
You can see the cause, and you were just predicting the very obvious effect.
Exactly. He is going to fall.
Now, if you said, I think he will fall, in that situation, you would sound weirdly detached.
You'd sound like a philosopher contemplating the abstract nature of falling.
Yes. But he is going to fall is urgent. It's real. It's right there. You might even shout it.
Precisely. And this is where we get back to that earlier idea. Will is for the mind.
I believe.
And going to is for the eyes.
I see.
Will is for the mind. Going to is for the eyes. If you can remember that for predictions, you will be right 99% of the time.
That clarifies the prediction struggle so much. I feel like I hear people misuse this in business meetings all the time.
Oh, constantly. And it causes real problems, real misunderstanding.
How so? Give me an example.
Okay, you'll hear a manager stand up and say, we will finish this project by June.
Right. Sounds confident.
It sounds confident, but if you look at their face and you look at the chart and you know they have no real plan, no budget, they're just hoping.
They're making a promise or expressing a desire. The will of willpower.
Right. It's a wish. But the team, the stakeholders, they don't want a wish. They want a plan. They want to hear, we are going to finish this project by June.
Because that implies the logistics are already in place.
Yes. We are going to, sounds like a train that has left the station and is on the tracks. We will can sometimes sound like a guy standing on the platform shouting at the train to please move.
That is a brutal but incredibly accurate distinction. Will is shouting at the train. Going to is being on the train.
In a business context, often yes. Going to provides a sense of security because it implies a plan exists and it's based on the evidence of preparation.
So, okay, we have our two fighters. We have the spontaneous, promising, opinionated will.
The fighter from the soul.
And we have the planned, evidence-based going to.
The fighter from the calendar and the lab.
Now, let's move to part 3, the showdown.
The battle of the tenses.
Our source has this great side-by-side comparison table. I want to run through these specific scenarios because seeing them head-to-head really highlights why one works and the other just fails miserably.
Context is everything. Let's do it.
Scenario 1, the forgotten notebook.
A classic classroom or office emergency. Very relatable.
So you're in a meeting, you reach into your bag for your notebook, it's empty, that little jolt of panic sets in. You turn to the person sitting next to you. You need a piece of paper right now.
Okay. So do you say, A, I will borrow one from you, or B, I am going to borrow one from you?
The source says the correct answer is A, I will borrow one. Or more naturally, oh, I forgot my notebook. I'll borrow one from you.
Because it's a spontaneous solution to an immediate unforeseen problem. Oops, I'll borrow yours.
It's a reflex.
Yep.
Now, let's dissect the incorrect one. Imagine you lean over and whisper, I am going to borrow a notebook.
That sounds sinister.
It does. It sounds like a threat or a weirdly premeditated act.
It implies a plan. It implies that you came to this meeting intending to forget your notebook just so you could take mine. It's manipulative.
Phase 1, forget notebook. Phase 2, acquire target stationery. It's the plot of a spy movie.
Exactly. It removes all the spontaneity and makes you sound either manipulative or just socially weird. Will clears that all up. Oops, I forgot it. I'll borrow yours. Simple, clean reaction.
Okay, got it. Scenario 2, the study session. You are talking to a friend, just catching up about your evening plans.
The correct natural phrasing, I'm going to study tonight.
Because presumably you're a good student and you planned this earlier, it's on your mental schedule for the evening.
Right. It's an existing intention.
Now, what if I said, I will study tonight? When would that be appropriate?
It's not technically wrong, but again, the meaning shifts entirely. If you say, I will study tonight, it sounds like a sudden resolve.
Like a reaction to something.
Yes. Maybe you were planning to procrastinate, your friend scolds you, and you snap to attention. Okay, fine, you're right. I will study tonight.
So it sounds defensive. Or like a sudden promise you're making to yourself. I will change my ways. Starting tonight, I will study.
Yes. But if you're just calmly sharing your itinerary, I'm going to study. It's neutral. It's a plan. No drama.
Okay, that's clear. Scenario 3, the race. This is the big prediction showdown.
This is a great one. Let's set the scene. We are watching the Olympics, the 100-meter dash. The runners are at the starting blocks. The gun hasn't gone off yet.
At this point, we have no data from this specific race. We only have past performance, reputation, our own gut feeling.
Pure speculation.
So we lean over to our friend and say, I think she will win the race. That's a bet. That's fate. It's an opinion.
Perfect. Now fast forward. The race is almost over. We're 90 meters into the 100-meter dash. Our runner is 3 body lengths ahead of everyone else. She is looking at the camera and smiling.
Okay, now the sentence has to shift. Look at her. She's going to win.
It has to, because now you have overwhelming visual evidence. The outcome is basically certain.
If I said she will win at that exact moment,
Yeah.
what would that sound like?
It would sound a bit detached, like you aren't really watching the excitement happening right in front of you. You're still in your head stating an opinion when the reality is right there on the track.
So she's going to win captures the immediacy of the evidence. It's happening now. It's a report on reality.
It's almost like the difference between betting on a game before it starts and reporting the final score. Will is the wager. Going to is the highlights reel playing out in real time.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, last one. Scenario 4. The promise. You are comforting a friend who's having a hard time.
Correct, heartfelt response. I will always support you.
Incorrect, or at least very awkward. I am going to always support you.
Yeah, I am going to always support you. It's clunky, first of all. That adverb in the middle is awkward, but again, it lacks the vow quality.
It sounds like you checked your calendar for the next 50 years and saw that support friend was penciled in for every Tuesday.
It feels bureaucratic. I have reviewed my schedule and can confirm that I'm going to support you for the foreseeable future.
It's terrible. It removes all the warmth.
It does. Will is the language of the soul here. Going to is the language of the diary. And when you're offering deep emotional support, you have to use the language of...
That is a fantastic rule of thumb. Will for the soul, going to for the diary. I think that covers almost everything.
It's a really solid foundation.
This brings us perfectly to part 4, the interactive lab. We've talked the talk, now we have to walk the walk.
Time to put it into practice.
We're going to put you, the listener, in the hot seat.
Let's test your new superpower.
Okay, listener, this is for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to read a sentence with a blank space. I want you to say out loud, or just think it if you're on the bus, whether the blank should be filled with will or the correct form of going to.
And I'll be here to reveal the answer and, more importantly, explain the why. Ready?
Okay. Question 1. The context. You see someone struggling to carry a heavy box. You want help. You walk up to them and say, "Don't worry, I blank help you with that."
So think about the context. Is this a plan you made yesterday, or is it a reaction happening right now?
What do you think? Okay, the answer is...
The answer is will. I will help you. Or even more naturally, I'll help you with that.
And why is that?
Because the source labels this as spontaneous. You see the person struggling and you make an offer in that moment. You didn't plan to carry their box yesterday, I hope. It's a pure reaction. I will help.
Perfect. Okay, question 2, the context. You were standing outside with a friend. You look up. The beautiful blue sky from 5 minutes ago is now turning black. You hear a distant rumble of thunder. You say, "Look at those dark clouds. It blank rains soon."
The key phrase there is look at those dark clouds. You are pointing at something.
The answer is...
Is going to. It is going to rain soon. Or casually, it's going to rain soon.
And that's because of the evidence.
Exactly. It's all about the visual proof. The clouds are the clue. You aren't just guessing anymore. You're observing a process that has already started. The rain is inevitable.
Got it. Question 3, the context. You're talking with friends about a movie that hasn't come out yet. You haven't seen a single trailer. You just know you love the director's other films. You say, "I think the movie blank be amazing."
The key phrase there is, I think. Where is that happening?
In your head.
Exactly. So the answer is...
The answer is will. I think the movie will be amazing.
Yes. The source labels this opinion, no evidence. You haven't seen the movie yet. You just have a feeling, a belief. It's a prediction coming from your mind, not from your eyes.
Excellent. Last one, question 4, the context. You're telling your coworker about your big summer vacation. You have already bought the plane tickets. You have booked the hotel in Kyoto. You say, "We blank travel to Japan next summer."
So think about the nature of international travel. Is that something you decide in a split second?
Not usually, no. The answer is...
We are going to travel to Japan next summer. The source labels this already planned. You don't usually spontaneously decide to fly across the world in the middle of a sentence. It requires tickets, passports, hotels, saving money. It's a planned action. It absolutely belongs to the world of going.
We are going to travel.
Perfect. So how did you do out there, listener? Did you get all 4?
And even if you miss one, that's okay. The whole point is to start noticing the trash in the sentence. Is there evidence? Is there a plan? Is it a sudden feeling? Is it a promise?
It really is about being more mindful of why you're choosing your words. Speaking of which, we promised a cheat sheet or a memory tip to make this stick when you're in the middle of a fast-paced conversation. This is part 5.
Yes. It's hard to remember all these rules in the moment. So the source offers a way to consolidate everything we've discussed into 2 simple sets of mental images.
Let's have the will mantra first. How should we remember will?
Okay, for will, I want you to visualize a spark and a handshake.
A spark and a handshake. The spark is that spontaneous decision, the light bulb moment.
Got it.
The handshake is the promise, the agreement, the vow. I will help you.
Okay.
And if you need a third image, add a crystal ball. That's the prediction you believe in your mind, but you can't actually.
Spark, handshake, crystal ball. That's the world of will. I like that.
Now, for the going to mantra. For going to, I want you to visualize a calendar and a magnifying glass.
Calendar and magnifying glass.
The calendar is the plan you already made, the appointment, the scheduled event. I'm going to visit Grandma.
That's the diary.
That's the diary. And the magnifying glass is the evidence you are examining right now. You're the detective. Look at those clouds. It's going to rain.
Calendar and magnifying glass. That is actually incredibly helpful.
Yeah.
So if I'm in a conversation, I can just quickly ask myself, am I having a spark of inspiration? I'll use will. Am I looking at my calendar? Use going to.
Exactly. Am I making a promise, shaking a hand? Use will. Am I looking at clues through a magnifying glass? Use going to.
It takes the abstract grammar rules and turns them into concrete, usable mental images.
That's the goal, to make it automatic.
And before we wrap up, I want to touch on one little tip from the Lucky English source about pronunciation. Because knowing the grammar is one thing, but sounding natural is a whole other ballgame.
This is so important. The source highlights that native speakers are fundamentally lazy. Yeah. We love efficiency, love contraction.
We almost never say I will in casual conversation, do we?
Very rarely. It sounds very formal or emphatic. Normally we just say
I'll help. I'll go. It'll rain.
It softens the will. It makes it faster, more reactive, which fits perfectly with its use for spontaneousness.
And for going to, the big one.
Oh, yeah. We almost never enunciate going to. In 90% of casual speech, it becomes gonna.
I'm going to visit my grandma.
It's going great. What are you going to do?
So if you really want to sound fluent, don't just learn the rules. Learn the rhythm. Listen for I'll and gonna.
Exactly. But remember, and this is an important caveat, don't write gonna in a formal email or an academic paper.
Right. Good point. That's just for speaking.
That's for...
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into the grammar of tomorrow, what's the big takeaway here? What is the final synthesis?
I think the synthesis is that language is a tool to signal our reality. That's what we're doing. When you choose between will and going to, you aren't just following a rule book you memorized.
No.
You are telling the listener where your head is at. You're giving them crucial metadata about your statement. Are you reacting to the world right now? That's will. Or are you executing a plan you made in the past? That's going to.
And it really does change how people perceive you. If you use will for everything, you might sound impulsive or maybe a little unsure, like you're just making promises.
And if you use going to for everything, you might sound rigid, inflexible, or like a robot just reading its programming.
So understanding this difference changes your perceived reliability.
It absolutely does. If you say, I will help, people feel your personal commitment. If you say, it's going to rain, people trust your observation of the evidence. It aligns your speech with your intent.
We always try to end with a provocative thought, something to let the listener chew on after the episode is over. What have you got for us today?
Well, I want to go back to that idea we talked about at the very beginning, the idea that English doesn't have a true future tense.
Right. We have to build it with these helper words.
We have to build it, and I want the listener to think about this. Does the fact that we have to construct our future with words like will, which comes from desire, and going to, which comes from physical movement, does that make English speakers culturally more agency-focused?
Agency-focused, what do you mean?
Think about it. In some languages, the future just happens to the verb. The verb changes form, and that's that. But in English, we have to actively volunteer for the future, I will, or actively move towards it, going to.
So you're saying our grammar forces us to take a more active role?
I'm asking the question, does our grammar make us feel more responsible for our own death? Does it bake in a worldview that you have to build the future, rather than just waiting for it to arrive?
That is a rabbit hole I'm going to be thinking about all day. The old Sapir-Whorf hypothesis strikes again. Does our language shape our thoughts, or do our thoughts shape our language?
It's the ultimate chicken and egg question.
Well, I'm going to leave this studio soon, because that was the plan in my calendar.
And I will see you next time, because that's a promise.
Look at us using it correctly. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. Keep listening, keep learning, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Goodbye, everyone.